Hello everyone, I'm Joe Ackourey, and welcome to the Fly of the Week. For this episode, episode 24, I'll be tying the bread crust wet fly. So let's get started. Okay guys, here we go. We're going to tie a classic wet fly pattern called the bread crust. First step is placing the hook in the vise, making sure that the shank of the hook is parallel with your tabletop, and now cover the entire shank of the hook with thread. And I'd like you to wrap slightly into the bend. Okay, there you go. Now, time to build the body. For the body, actually for the quill, we're going to use a rough grouse tail feather. And it's a little process to get this right, but I'll show you a step-by-step procedure on how to do it. So let's get started. Okay, so now you got to prepare the feather. You're going to use a regular grouse tail feather. Clip off the base of the quill. I use a razor blade. And now on the underside, this is the side that the grouse shows us. This is the underside. You could see a well-defined line, like a groove in the back of the tail. So you got to carefully take a razor blade and split the quill in half. Try to hit it perfectly in the center. It's not easy. Just do your best. Be careful not to split the quill too far over. You want to put it right down the center. And as you can see, it gets pretty narrow the further you go up. And you need as much of this quill as possible. So just be careful. Steady hand will win the game. One more pass should do it. It's almost split in half. Oh, it is. Okay. So now you have your quill. You have two usable sections. So now you have all these fibers you want to cut, not clean, but you want to leave about a 1/16 of an inch away from the stem. It's a little bit of work out here, but you know, it's part of the fun. Okay, now that piece of quill is done as far as splitting it, and now you got to clean out the core a little bit. You can notice all this white stuff, this soft spongy stuff in here. Just kind of compress it, clean it out. That's critical. You need to get as much of this out as possible. You can see it popping out now. Do your best to get it as clean as possible. You could probably use your fingernail too to scrape it. You can see it all. Okay, I mean, that looks pretty good. So there's your quill. And we'll use that when we, for the body. We'll tie that up for the body. So now that we finished our grouse quill section, as you can see, there's the thicker end is at the base of the feather, and as you go up, the feather gets finer. You're going to tie in the finer end and tie that right alongside the shank of the hook. and tie that also straight into the bend a little bit. Okay, very good. And I neglected to tell you though, you want to tie it in so that the core is facing you. So next step is to build an underbody, which is made from all orange floss. Take a good section of that. This is pretty thin stuff, so I'm going to have to double it up. And I'm going to also tie that on the side of the shank of the hook. Just like so. Make sure you wrap all the way back up against the quill. Now, your body is going to be a tapered body. It's going to be built up the shank, and you're going to stop around the 80% mark there. You'll have to judge that. And begin by wrapping very slowly. Make sure you don't hit the point of the hook. Starting to get away on me a little bit here. Okay. Get yourself a nice taper. Just take your time. There we go. Good. Secure that with 7 or 8 wraps. Clip off the excess. Now, get your quill. You're going to wrap this tightly around, and now you see how remember how I clipped it a 1/16 of an inch from the quill when I clipped the fibers? Look how nice they're standing up now. So now you want to slightly separate the quill so that the orange bleeds through each wrap. Just like so. Very nice. Tie it off. Cut off the excess. So now for the collar, is going to be a soft hackle grizzly hackle. Okay? I'm really admiring that body. It came out really nice, and you could see the orange in between each segment. So now clean off the fuzz off the bottom of that hackle. Exposing the stem. You're going to attach the stem right where you left off at the body. And you only need 1 or 2 wraps with this. Grab your hackle from perpendicular with your hackle pliers. And get 1. It's all webby now, so I mean, once I just play around with it, it'll pop open and it'll look really good. Okay, attach that with about 7 or 8 wraps. Clip that off. Any stray fibers that got caught in the attaching, get rid of. Draw all these fibers back and begin to build a little head. And kind of wrap into it just a little bit and back into the main group. Okay, guys, that's pretty much it. Tie your finishing knot. Any fibers that got caught in a knot, get rid of. Get your head cement. Give that knot a good coat of glue, head cement, and just go around the entire fly. This is a very webby hackle, so it's kind of sticking together pretty good there. That's it, guys. There you have it. The bread crust wet fly. Thank you for joining me in this episode, and I'll see you in the next. Tight lines, guys.